Charles, my guy,
What's going on, Chris? How you doing?
is long overdue, man. Is long overdue.
I'm ready for it.
Let's go. How you living today? What are you up to today?
Good, man. Just Fridays. Kids are out, kind of doing their little PE thing, and I'm closing up some things for the business.
Oh,
All that good stuff. How about you?
I'm living, man. It's Friday. I'm trying to wrap up, get out of here early. My oldest daughter graduated this way, and you know, you're a parent, especially
Yeah.
when they get into those school functions, man. It's like Monday, color day, you got to be here. Tuesday, we're doing a breakfast, so it'd be cool if the parent. Wednesday, we got to perform. And you're like, bro, some of us work, homie, but you can't not show up. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
ready to wrap up this week and get these girls into summer. That's what I'm ready
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. Any crazy plans for the girls?
You know what? Nah, not a ton. Just kick it. They're lucky. They got their cousins that live down the road. And so it's a lot of like pool parties. My
Right.
mom comes out from California. And so
Hey.
she ends up taking them like wherever. But yeah, it's pretty low key. How about for you guys?
Yeah, nothing crazy. I think we're gonna hit DC next month. The whole
Sweet.
family will go out there, work a little bit remotely, hit up some stuff over there, and take the whole family. So, I have a bunch of kids. So whenever we do anything, it's an endeavor. Just
Dude.
even my kids to sit next to me is a fight.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Like I'm just trying to make it through the airport. I kid you not, one time I was at Southwest. I love Southwest, but this one time I had a flight attendant where my little girl was bawling, crying, and the flight attendant looked at me before we walked into the airline, and she was like, "Hey, like she can't come in like that."
No.
I was like, "What do you mean? Like, do you want me just to go wait outside with my crying 4-year-old at the time?" And I get it, like she didn't want to have to deal with that the entire flight. It was like a 7 a.m. flight,
Dang.
so terrible idea, parents. If you ever think about a flight for your kids, so I already took the L for that.
No, for sure.
The flight attendant must have been feeling some type of way.
Did she
She'd be like,
chill
"Hey,"
out? Did she end up like getting it
yeah,
together?
she was
Okay.
good. She was good.
All
I think
right.
she just had a
No.
moment of weakness.
Yeah, a moment of weakness. No, I feel you. That's one of those where you got to kneel down and be like, all right, listen, baby girl, you want ice cream? You want money? I don't know what you do. I would literally give you just like deep breaths. Let's get it together, okay? I can't miss this flight. It's so
Right,
funny,
right.
dude. No, I made the mistake. It ended up being an okay flight, but when my girls were 2 and 4, we took them to Hawaii, which from
Yeah,
Texas is like that's a flight. I mean, that's too long for me.
right,
And so
right.
they were losing their minds. But I guess to my benefit, once you
Yeah,
already up in the air, baby, there ain't much you could do, especially on like you in between the island on the Pacific Ocean and the West Coast. Like we ain't turning around. We all
right.
just gotta suck it up. But it ended up being cool. It
Yeah.
ended up being cool.
Where'd you guys go in Hawaii?
We went to Maui, I want to say.
Yep,
My
yep.
wife's grandmother lives out there. And so
I
it
love
was
it.
like she got to meet the great kids and just it was so beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Bro, one thing we did do, gosh, I'm so excited to tell you this. And it's a perfect segue into something
Yeah,
that I know that you're not fond of, but the people
yeah,
need to know. So we went to Hawaii, and 2 of the nights we stayed at this super luxury, the Kalani Resort, the Disney
yeah,
resort, bro.
yeah.
Like Disney characters walking all around, like the little lazy river and slides, and like, bro, it was tremendous. It was
Yeah,
tremendous. If for anybody who hasn't been to that Hawaiian Disney resort, I would 100% recommend it, which is such a fun segue into my boy lives in Menifee, California. I'm born and raised California. It's a little closest big city town, Temecula, but you're talking about maybe an hour and a half drive, depending on traffic, to Disneyland. And so,
right.
Charles, I don't mean to put you on blast or anything, baby, but why don't you share with the people what you shared with me last week on your thoughts about Disneyland?
So to make sure we're clear here, Disneyland is great. My wife loves Disneyland. I personally tried to hide Disneyland from my kids as long as I possibly could
I feel
because
that.
I understood that Disneyland is a marketing sales machine.
Yeah.
Every square inch of that park is a way for you to spend money. So, and you think about think about the optics. Like their toys are at kid level.
Oh, it's tremendous.
and they don't even allow your kids not to touch it because they want them to touch
Oh,
it.
they put it
That's
on the
not
floor for them to touch. Yeah,
unbelievable. So I tried to hide it from them as long as I possibly could.
you're right.
Funny story, my 5-year-old, we went the first time to Disneyland for his 5-year-old birthday. Spend way too much money. 3 days at the park,
The
hotel where
best.
everyone's crying because we're there from like opening to close. My 5-year-old at the end of this birthday, he looks to me, looks to my wife, and says, "Okay, when's my real birthday going to happen?" Because to him, his birthday is all his boys,
Yeah,
a cake, and a couple of presents. And I
yeah.
looked at him with a little bit of hostility,
Oh, for sure,
just walked away.
for sure.
Um,
That is
but
hilarious.
but yeah, he loved it. But at 5 years old, he's like, Disneyland is cool, but
No,
I
for
still want
sure.
to hang out with my boys and a cake. And he didn't have that distinction. But we probably threw down, I don't know, like 10 racks, like 3 days at Disney.
Dude, I believe it. And that's why I say that I agree with you. Like they are a marketing sales monster, the best in the
Oh,
biz.
bet.
Because yeah, bro, if you ain't spended at least half of that 10K rack, you ain't. I mean, there's just not a chance. What
Right,
you pack
right.
a lunch and you're eating just like what pirates booty all day? You can't do that, man. The smell of the churro alone will you already busting out your wallet. So
Right.
all
The
right,
way to do Disney, my wife does a better job. If you live locally, have annual passes, that's when you do it.
that was the way.
But when you get crushed, if you go for a 3-day sprint and you're staying at a hotel, you feel a need because maybe you're going out for the rest of the year to
Yeah,
go from opening to close. So
for sure.
what you're witnessing is like the phenomenon, like people from Wisconsin telling their kids, like, "Suck it up, we're gonna push through that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
We're here, it costs money, right?" So you're witnessing that. You didn't really pack food because you're not like at home, you're out of town, and then that's how you get crushed. But if you can figure out how to go there with no expectations, if kids are freaking out and you're freaking out, you can just bounce right back home.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Where you get into trouble is that you're trying to get every inch out of it, and sometimes the kids aren't having it. You're not having it. It's
No,
just
for
better
sure.
for everybody to exit.
Yeah, for sure, man. You spending $150 for like, well, I mean, and you, I would dare say, have it probably worse than, I mean, obviously than myself. So I got two little girls, and my
Yeah,
wallet
yeah,
already hurts just with them.
right.
But talk to me about your family. But first of all, beautiful family. My gosh,
Yes.
talk to me about your kids, bro. Like,
Yeah,
who are they? What are they about?
yeah. Thank you, man. So 5 kids.
Get
I
it?
currently have people outside of my home right now picketing, telling me that I'm not allowed to live in California because there's just way too many kids. But all serious aside, 5 kids, 8 almost 9 next on July, 6 almost 7 next month, newly 5, 2 almost 3 in July, and then newborn as of February. Boy Levi, girl Karis, girl Selah, boy Judah, and then my youngest Amara is a girl. So for me, I grew up, believe it or not, I had two brothers and two sisters. So one
Okay.
of five.
So it was a good side. You were in a big family. Yeah.
Big family already, and I was second and youngest. So literally, I kid you not, Chris, I'm changing diapers at age 10 because
Dang.
my oldest brother is like 9 years older than me. So I was kind of always like babysitting, like at a young age, like
Yeah.
enough where you're like, oh, like should I have even been babysitting that kid? Probably not. But somehow I did it. So that was kind of always a part of my DNA. And then another, believe it or not, my dad's from Arkansas. My dad's from Arkansas, like in the 60s,
Okay.
where you're sharecropping. With sharecropping, for the folks that don't know, like you don't own the land, you're borrowing the land, and you're giving a part of the proceeds to the owner.
Okay. From your from okay.
From what actually you actually kind of like till from the actual land.
Yeah.
The only reason that's important is because at that point in time, for my accounting folks out there, your kids were literally a asset for you. They made you money or revenue. Now you may not want to say this, folks out there in the crowd, but you kind of feel like your kids are a liability. They cost money.
No, for sure.
So my dad literally had 17 brothers, 4 sisters.
Get out of town.
4 sisters. So
That's a
like
whole football team.
bro, like genuinely, like, so I have so many uncles, it's unbelievable, and aunties, but mostly uncles. They're just all spread out of the country. And my dad was one of the younger ones,
Dang.
but like I've always had a big family. Like we have family reunions all the time.
I was just gonna say your all's family reunions are lit, huh?
Bro,
Like
I, I'm
lights out, huh?
unbelievable, unbelievable. So
Bro,
like all that to say, I'm used to a big family. I love kids. I've always coached. I've coached since I've graduated. Since I've graduated from college, I've coached almost every single year. So
awesome.
probably maybe a decade, 12 years
That's
or so.
awesome.
Just because I love that part. So a big part of my heart is like I love to see someone get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Like and not like light bulb, but you probably in your leadership position when it clicks for someone and you have the ability to be involved in that. I think there's nothing better.
Oh, it's magic.
It is magic. So Disney, shout out to you, Disney,
Yeah.
making us.
No, bro. I mean, look, the only reason I'm in a leadership position today, and I really blame all of it on I was a women's college soccer coach for
Hey,
5 years
I didn't know.
before I entered the finance world. And I always tell this story like it taught me everything about man management. Like there's
Hmm.
one girl you could scream at and that would light the fire and she'd go on the
Yeah,
pitch and she'd kill it.
yeah,
Where
yeah,
another girl, you got to be like, all right, look, be a goldfish. You want to know why goldfish, the smartest animal in the world, they got a 10-second memory. You
yeah,
forget about
yeah.
what happened, you get right back out there. And so that different approach of man management and the different personalities, I think has been just a massive contributor to why I get to do some of the cool stuff in leadership today because it's not a one size fits all. So that's
Right.
super fun, bro. That's super
Yeah.
fun.
And I know you coach women's soccer. That's dope.
Yeah,
My
man.
so little tangent here. My wife went to UCLA. Their women's soccer team was unbelievable at that time.
Bro, I was probably in the stands while she was
Bro,
going. I used to take like,
I
bro,
was in the stand too, so I probably saw the
dang,
beard.
we probably did. We both grew up in California. I know I come across you before, man.
Bro, had to. Well, at the time that my wife was there, Al Pugh was like 16 playing against a practice game against the UCLA
No
uh,
way.
girls, and my wife was like, "Who's this little teenager who obviously is a
Is
stud?"
a killer for
Like,
the U.S.
me,
women's
like,
national
like,
team. Mallory
like,
is a killer, dude.
I think she's Swanson now.
Yeah.
I was like, "Who the heck is Swanson?" Like, I know Mal Pugh. So I was all kind of confused by it. But I remember because I grew up playing football. And really, for the folks like American football, like we've always had, at least I had like a prejudice to like soccer.
Yeah.
Of like, yeah, it's not like
Bro,
a
when
real
we were young, everybody did. I remember
right.
watching soccer through Scramble. So,
Right, right, and I think most people don't like soccer just because they don't get it,
yeah.
but once I started playing soccer a little bit as an adult, I was like, "This is dope," but then I started watching UCLA, and I remember like it was yesterday, UCLA is playing USD, and kid you not, it's almost as if USD is not even on the field, like UCLA is just like they're out there like any other day practicing, they're so calm, so composed, and USD could not even hold a torch,
I
and I love USD.
love it.
I
I
love
love it.
USD,
Go
like UCLA
Bruins, baby.
bro, so good, and, like, yeah, so, super impressed by them. My wife got to work with the team, had a super fun, time with them because a lot of those girls are pros now and are just studs
Are
for
just
the
killing
team.
it. Yeah. And that league, what is it? It's like the WSL, I think is what it's called. It's getting a little bit
Yeah,
more traction. It's
yeah,
growing up
yeah.
a bit,
It's definitely getting better. I still think that if I was a girl, apart from Caitlin Clark's, like, transformation of
which is
like, oh,
fire.
like, so dope, like, for my little girls. But, if we put Caitlin Clark out there, soccer would be the one I would wanna go.
Cool.
Like, that'd be the best, like, way for sponsorships, revenue. I know there's a lot of work to be done,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say, like, all things considered, school would have been the one I would have wanna go to
Sweet.
before Caitlin Clark. But I feel like Caitlin Clark and some of these gals that are coming up now, they're starting to make soccer basketball prime time. Like, what
Yeah.
she did for I think that's was it Iowa Stadium or some
Oh, yeah,
stadium in
yeah. And
bro, like
honestly, I don't even care that they didn't win the national championship.
yeah,
Like
who cares?
what she has done to women's basketball, either at the collegiate level and obviously into the pro, is I honestly, it's embarrassing that she gets crapped on so often by everybody else. She is a
I
revenue driver, man.
well, I think that the hard part, and this is I talked to my wife about this. I was why? She's like, why is she so upset? I think that the hard part is like some girls are like, I've been doing this for a decade,
Yeah.
right? And so they feel like at least like the pros, they feel like she hasn't done anything at that level yet.
Yeah.
You get that kind of love. So it's tough because I like on a pure metrics level, you're right. Like what she's done for the sport for eyeballs, which eyeballs means money,
Yeah.
is bar none.
Lights out.
So you should be thankful for him. But I also understand if you've been hitting 20 points per game for the last 10 years and no one knows your name and little Caden Clark comes in, I'll be a little upset too.
No,
Uh,
that's true.
and so there's some tension there. I don't have any way to smooth it out, but I can understand some of the struggle on that side because you're like, yo, I've been grinding.
No,
Like
for
what about
sure.
me?
I was watching Stephen A. Smith, who, to be fair,
Oh,
I'm really not a fan of, but in
yeah,
this one segment, he made a good point. He made the comparison of Caitlin Clark to Tiger Woods when he was
mm,
first entering the PGA game. This young kid, like in his first interview, I remember there was one where the guy's like, "So, what are your hopes? Like, what's your ambition?" He's like, "Well, I'm going out there to win it all." And the
mm.
interviewer just started laughing. It was like a 16, 17-year-old
Yeah,
Tiger Woods. He's like,
I do remember
why
that.
would I not go out there and try to win it all? And she is the furthest from having an ego. But I remember
Right.
when T Woods first started in the game, he was kind of getting that same, from your
Yeah.
Jack Nicklaus, from your
Yeah.
your APs.
Yeah.
So I get
Yeah.
it, but she
Yeah.
is a killer. She's for sure a
Yeah,
killer.
honestly, like stud. Like you watch her, you're the best I can kind of have an examples like Steph Curry,
Yeah.
not at Davidson, but Steph Curry like at the Warriors, and not Steph Curry at the Warriors first year. Steph Curry at the Warriors like year 5 or
Yeah, like
7.
growing
Where
into that,
right,
bro, where are
right,
you from? Like,
yeah.
what are you doing out there?
It's just like, dude, where'd you come from?
Bro, I
Uh,
love it.
no.
No, you're
Yeah, but sorry,
spot
that was
on.
a tangent. So I'll put me back on kilter here.
Let me think. Well, I mean, we just rapping. That's
Oh,
what I
I love
love
it.
about. We just have a conversation. If we get stuck
Uh,
on a tangent, that means that we hit gold. But I do want to
I love-
ask you,
yeah.
how'd you get linked up with Warren and Gee, man?
Yeah. Interesting story. So really, I'm on paternity leave
Cool.
at the time. So
Hmm.
I got like time, like oodles of time. And I do and I don't. Like I I thought I was gonna be way more available. So my wife homeschools. Saying
Okay.
any person that homeschools out there, you know that the grind is real.
It
These
sounds
kids
rough. I don't have any experience, but it's like I think that it's a beautiful thing. But it sounds rough.
these kids don't listen. I'm just gonna tell you guys that. That's all I want to say. All right. I love them. They don't listen. So I say all that because during paternity leave, I switched with my wife.
Okay.
So I'm doing all that. And I kid you not, day one, I'm done.
Done.
Like
I'm out.
self-control, just like I can't do it. And a part of it was like we kind of took a break from school. So there's like basic stuff where I remember my mom used to be like, if 1 plus 6 or if Johnny went to school and lost his shoe, how many shoes does Johnny have? And I'd be like, I don't know. And she'd be like, I know you know this answer. And I started to feel my mom start to come up at
Coming
me with
out of you, I'm sure. 21.
asking asking some basic questions. So they were struggling. So I'm losing self control. And as a parent, like you can't tell your kid to have self control as you are out of
Yeah,
control.
no way. It doesn't work.
But I digress. So in this time, this is where I'm at paternity leave. I meet Warren because everyone knows Warren. Like Warren's got
Warren,
he hates
bro,
when I
Warren, I'll tell you, I rolled up my sleeves because I know Warren's gonna see this, just so that he knows. Come after me, Warren, because that fool would just beat the bricks off me. I love that dude.
I love Warren. Well, so Warren hates when I say this, but like Warren's got the golden thumb right now. Everything I do posts
Yeah.
you turn around, I was like, yo, 3,000 likes. So like Warren's got a thumb. So I was like seeing him rise.
Hmm.
I was like, yo, what's up, man? So I hit him up on the DMs, or maybe he hit me up. I can't remember. I probably hit him up and I was like, yo, let's connect. So we finally got to connect. And I don't think he even told me about at the time, Dad Hood, now Dad Good. I don't think he even told me about it, but we just connected on a real level, like quick 30, 40 minute call. We started texting. And on those texts, somehow, and my wife just asked me this question too, because she's like, you didn't even tell me that you are gonna start like with Dad Good. And I was
Yeah.
like, babe,
And now it's like this whole thing, and you got
right,
merged. She had like,
right, right. She's like, you didn't tell me. I was like, she's like, how did it start? And I was like, babe, I don't even think I remember. I just know I met Warren first, and then I was like, how can I help? How can I help? How can I help? How can I help? And I just kind of kept volunteering myself, and eventually, like, it got to the point where people were like, well, hey, what's Charles' relationship with Dad Good? And Warren and Guy were like, oh, and it kind of like somehow I snuck in the back
It's
door
beautiful, bro.
at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. With no lights on,
That's
and
right.
somehow I got in there. So that's how I kind of got in there. So I met Warren initially, and then Warren brought me into McGee, and that's how it's been. And literally, I brought up the paternity leave because not only was I like kind of substitute teaching for homeschool, but all day I was doing dad good stuff.
Yeah.
Like 8 a.m. Like my wife's like, "What are you doing? Like,
Like
how are you on your
preaching
phone?"
the message of the mission of this community that was to be birthed.
Right,
That's what we call
right.
a happy accident, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome. It's so
yeah, man.
beautiful.
Yeah, so that's how we got connected. And I think that it's been every now and then my wife was like, how many meetings do you guys need to have? Like what are you guys talking about? You guys were just on a call
I
a
love
second
it.
ago.
I
So
love
so
it.
yeah, and it's been a fun ride so far.
Well, you know what, dude? That's what that's what happens when you surround yourself with just really good people. Like,
Hmm,
I could talk about dad good until I'm blue in the face just because,
hmm,
like, look, man, and I'm sure that you felt this in different layers as well. Being a man, it's really uncomfortable to be vulnerable with,
hmm,
hey, I'm struggling with this. I don't know the answer to that. Someone talked me off the ledge on this. And
hmm,
like, the concept was cool to me, but once I joined that Slack and got to hang out with Warren, like the practice of it
hmm,
blew the concept out of the water. Like
hmm.
the authenticity, the genuine group that like it really is a support group of dudes that just want to see each other win. And
Right.
I don't like it's like I was telling Warren and Guy when I got to speak with them. Like, I think that there were so many unintentional blessings that just kind
Hmm,
of accidentally happened out
right.
of, you guys just, hey, I wanted to create a group where,
Yeah.
guys could vibe together. And it really has turned into a movement. You like sponsors now with what is that?
Yeah.
The drink company from Jay. I love that
Yeah.
dude, by the way. What
Yeah.
is it
Jay
called?
Freebird.
Yeah, free bird. Yeah. I mean, I already got some ordered on the way to my house. Like
Go.
it's
Let's go.
we're in the movement and in the motion. And so I think that that's such a beautiful thing. I just had to hear how you guys all got connected.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that like to your point about the community, I think one thing I wanted to share is what being a dad is a weird kind of phenomenon. I think mom is probably similar, but what you kind of have just overall is community is eroding in general in most of our just like cities. So it used to be community was a part of like some religious group or some kind of like chamber of commerce, or maybe your actual job. So all those things are kind of like going away, like even like our jobs, as far as like being in the office, like water cooler talk, ping pong, all that kind of stuff. So you are actually starting to find that our best friends are people that our people are like not even like 100 miles close to us.
Yeah.
Uh, Proximity. So now we're trying to figure out like, well, how do we figure out how to do this stuff? I don't have maybe my parents aren't in town. Maybe I'm the first in my friend group to have kids. Maybe all our friends are good at this part. Or maybe you have a good community of people, but guess what? You work your 9 to 5, you get home, you watch a couple hours of Netflix, you eat, you go to sleep, you do it
Yeah,
again,
rinse and
and
repeat.
that's your life. So I think the idea with Dad Good was like, hey, how could we provide some kind of support in that aspect? My role, like what I would love for Dad Good to turn into is that could we provide a community for dads where from the day that you heard that, hey, I will be a dad, to the day that you actually say bye, kids,
Uh-huh.
and they become, adults, that we can provide a community from that entire journey where you can figure out the next steps. And then hopefully as you graduate, you do the same for that person when they get their first announcement
Yeah,
and they
man.
say, well, what do I do? Does the diaper go on this way? And what happens when my kid does this? What do I do about this thing at school? Or whatever the case might be, every aspect of what it looks like to be a father, most of us have just done it and winged it.
Yeah.
And by the grace of God, we just have not, did something terrible.
No,
But
no, for sure.
but we just figured it out, and we great dads. But I think that if we can just figure out how to expedite that process, I can make less errors in the process, and I can have some people that are like, hey, like I know it's hard, man. I get what
Yeah.
life is like. So I think that's a little bit of what I'm starting to see the community and what I would love for it to become down the road. I think it's already having that aspect.
It's
But
growing in that direction. It for sure is,
um,
man. It for sure is. Like I said, I'm on the Slack often. Like, you know how many I just watch from the sideline going like, dude, did this guy just help this guy get a job? Like,
yeah,
what?
yeah,
Just the most tremendous relationships from like stranger to community, kind of to your point. And that's awesome, man. It's just so
yeah.
beautiful, bro.
Love that. Love that.
Dang, love myself some dad good, dude. What I'm waiting for from the dad good side is I want an annual event. Could be in the States, could be out of the States, but I see it growing towards eventually some of these guys like, hey man, we need to get together and celebrate this that we are all a part of.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'll wait for you guys to tee it up. I'll get my invite and then we'll see you out there.
I would love that. What I would love like to even add to that would be regional events
Yeah.
that we kind of do on a smaller scale than as you
Like
said.
chapters, like little chapters of dad good. Dude, now we're going.
Yeah, so that's what I would love, or like, and then so we kind of do three prong like regional chapters where they kind of meet, when the head of the chapter kind of sees fit. So
Yeah.
that way, those folks are continue to feel like they're in the community, have like a mini domestic
Uh-huh.
meet like cultural. So East Coast, or West Coast, East Coast can all kind of come together easy. And again, that might not be super big scale because might not be able to find a property for 800
How
guys.
we could do it, man. Opportunity is limitless, bro. Come on, look at where
Right,
you're at already.
100%. So if we can find a property, if you hear me right now, that can host 800 guys domestically, we would
We're
love that.
planting the seed. For those of you guys listening, that was the seed, and I promise you, we all gonna water it. It's gonna happen. We'll
Let's
make it
get it. We
real.
know Texas is pretty central, so some farm out there that is affordable. We would love that, and I think, as you said, international, like because there's still dads in New
Dude, you
Zealand.
got international dads that are on board already. Like, dude, I get to meet with Jacob Ball
Let's
coming
get
up on next mutual connection. He's out over in London. And
yeah.
now me and him connect so fat, and I wouldn't even known who he was if it wasn't for that community. So
Yeah, I love Jacob, man. That's awesome.
that's that live in action.
Yeah, speaking of Jacob, he was the first person that all you folks that hate the AI images, he was the first person that gave me some tips on that because I was like, "How are you guys doing this?"
Dang. All
So
right.
Jacob was the first one that told me, even though I have some haters, I already know that I'm thinking about you right now who hate the AI images.
That's funny, bro. I jumped on the trend all day.
Yeah,
I'm
100%,
still making some
100%.
AI images. I won't lie to you, bro. Come on now. All right. Adjacent turn, not a hard turn. It's adjacent. Talk to me about Presence, bro. Presence Co. just announced what yesterday officially coaching, consulting, support. Like, talk to me about that world. I know it's still kind of in its growing, but I see you guys already got people signed up. Like, what's
Yeah.
that, man? Because I want to
Yeah,
know.
so yeah, so really our thought process, a lot of people have reached out to us and said, "Hey, I want to be visible on LinkedIn. I want a presence on LinkedIn." So when we think about that is, and that could be anything like, "Hey, like, how do I get on LinkedIn? What do I do? And then what do I say? How do I understand that there's going to be a certain way people perceive me when I'm on LinkedIn? How do I ensure that that's a clear and not confused or muddled?" All of those things are things that we've had people personally reach out to us, whether they're individuals or actual like small businesses as well, founders. And so the idea of presence, like, hey, whether you are a business or individual, you have something to be gained by making your brand present on LinkedIn. There are eyeballs all on LinkedIn, and that could be from the individual, hey, I want to make myself fireproof, meaning that if I, for whatever reason, my company goes under, or to decide, hey, Charles, your service is no longer needed,
Yeah.
I have enough network where my brand goes in enough doors that I can go find a job
Bingo.
easily if need be.
Yeah.
I think Landon Meyer was a good example of this. Like I think his job went under, and he landed one in a week because his network is phenomenal.
Just fat.
Uh,
Yeah, man. Just supportive. And bro, that's what I love about LinkedIn as well. Is, you
right.
know, if you are connecting and doing the right things and like there's obviously there's kind of some bad actors that'll leave like comments, so you tearing people down, but Bro,
Yeah,
if your focus is just lifting people up consistently, like, man, I got to meet you. I got to meet the whole Dad Good gang. I got so many friends, even through the Mutual Connections cast, where the concept is so simple. It's like, hey,
right,
I think you're really cool. I got
right,
no idea who you are behind what I see on this timeline, but let me meet you, bro. Like, let me talk. So I dig that.
right.
I dig the
Yeah, no,
presence.
yeah. Thanks, man. To your point, I'll just end on this. Like, all I think LinkedIn is, it's not complicated. It's a big party. Think about a networking conference if you want, but a big party and with a lot of dope people doing a lot of dope things in a bunch of different rooms. You can go by the water fountain, by the punch bowl, and just chill, do nothing, drink your punch, look a little awkward, wallflower it up if you want, or get out of your comfort zone and go meet dope people doing dope things
Yeah.
and with the hope that somehow that rubbing of shoulders could lead to something down the road. That lead to something might be, hey, maybe you're just closer with that person.
Yeah.
That might mean, hey, they need some help on a side hustle. That might mean that you got a personal friend that needs an intro to a company and you know a person that can help them. The options are endless,
Yeah.
but there's so much opportunity, as you said, that you just go meet dope people like London, New Zealand to Cali to
Dude,
Atlanta,
exactly.
like so many dope people. So you could say nothing, and believe it or not, Chris, I'm introverted. Like people don't believe me, but I'm introverted. So like, so this thing is like, it may not be easy for you, but I can guarantee you, from the introvert to the extrovert, this is something that will benefit you down the long run because there are people that can offer so much value to you, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
There's so much value that you can offer to them apart from just going on LinkedIn. And I think the wallflower is to go on LinkedIn and just look at people and people watch,
Yeah,
right?
which was me, and I'm sure you for way too long, man, way too
Right,
long.
right, right,
That's why I
right.
think it's a beautiful thing what you guys are doing because having somebody motivate you and kind of help you and support you into just starting, I think like I wasted so much time waiting for something to be perfect rather
Right.
than just making it. And I think Warren even posted something
Yeah,
about it today. Like I spend
yeah,
way too much time and
yeah,
I kick myself now because
yeah,
my most unperfect posts or content on LinkedIn is the
yeah.
stuff that generates the big and so but that frustrates the hell out of me. I'll spend a good amount of time trying to get something going. I'm like
Yeah,
500 impressions, but
yeah.
I got a
That's
quick
hilarious.
off the cuff thought using my
Yeah,
mobile and
yeah.
that bad boy
That's
skyrockets. So I'm,
that's hilarious.
you
That's
know,
hilarious.
it's a give and take. So
Yeah, you're right. It almost feels like the more thought you put into a post, the worse it does.
yeah.
It feels like I need to like just whatever's on the top of the dome, just put it on there.
And it's
Because
bro, and it's fire. It's written,
fire.
dude. It's I
But I'll end on this thought. I think the reason why that is because people really resonate with the real you, and
yeah,
sometimes the real you gets masked by corporate formal jargon.
yeah,
And this is the stuff we would email internally. And I think that's the really hard part. The off the cuff stuff, generally, even though it can be like wild, regular memes, stuff like that, it generally is more representative of who you are and what you're like. And that's the stuff that people love.
yeah.
What people really love is really you. That's why I can never be like, I can never have your brand because people are going to ride with you specifically. That's what presence is all
The
about. Like,
same way that they ride with you. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right. Exactly. So like there's part that people love about me that I need to make sure I communicate. Same thing with you, but the more that we try to be everyone else, which is general corporate 80s things, then we isolate everyone or
No, for
we
sure.
no one wants it. So I'll stop there though, because I can talk about presence
No,
all day.
no,
So
bro, but you're spot on, man. Like people like working with people, and I think that's always gonna be my biggest takeaway is
yeah.
I would almost, I mean, I guess depending on the product, but I would
Mm,
almost purchase a product or a service from somebody who I trust and we vibe, and I know if I have a challenge, they'll listen to me. I would probably rather buy that product than something that might be a little bit more superior, but I'm talking to a brick wall anytime
right,
I'm trying to be curious. Like
right,
I live my life so curious about
right,
you and the network and like I just love asking questions.
right,
And so to get that type of like vibe or energy reciprocated, dude, I lean into that so hard. So
right,
I
right,
think you're
right.
spot on, dude.
I
Um,
appreciate that. I fully agree.
so we're at 30 minutes. I got like Bro, we're gonna have to go round two. In fact,
Let's do it.
Warren even keeps bugging me, say, hey, get the gang together. We got to
Let's
do a
do it.
group sesh. So I'm gonna
Let's do it.
reserve the remainder of these questions, but let me just drop some comments about you. I think that you're a great guy. I think that you are one of the most genuine and authentic people that I see on the platform. Every time I see that you post something about you hanging out with your kids, I honestly get the biggest smile on my face because you can just, in a still image, you can see the love. And
Mm,
it's a big family, and that's a whole lot of love. And there's nothing cooler than that. I think that the relationship that you have with your wife is admirable. It's tremendous. What I see is you guys intentionally book time to love each other and date each other. And you're going on these like little hikes and doing silly videos. And I just see like there's nothing more cool than seeing
mm,
that. And so,
mm,
from an all around standpoint, dude, you're doing it so right. And I'm inspired by you. I look up to you. I'm
mm.
stoked that now we are connecting a lot more frequently. And I'm keeping you in my pocket and I'm along for the ride because I think that you're a great guy, Charles. And I'm not just blowing smoke at you. It would be easy for me to end this and say, all right, say la vie. But I would be remiss if I didn't let you know I'm on Team CT, if you know what I'm saying. All right.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. Thanks, man. I really do appreciate the love,
Of
man.
course.
I wasn't expecting for all that love to come in there.
You
I
know
was
what?
like,
I didn't plan it. I planned these other questions, but I was like, Chris, you got maybe 45 seconds. Be vulnerable. Just tell the man what you're thinking and then get the hell out of there.
I, that that you well, you know what, man? Like, I really do appreciate you saying that. 'Cause I do think it's pretty rare in general, all relationships, but specifically guy to guy relationships that we are like we genuinely can say that and have enough security in ourselves to not be like, yo, like this dude's gonna think I'm weird.
Yeah.
Because I'm yo, like that feels great. Like
I
I
knew
love
for
that.
sure you wouldn't think I was
Yeah.
weird.
No,
I knew.
right, but I appreciate you and your vulnerability in that because I think that's tough. 'Cause I gotta tell my wife that more, right?
Yeah.
I gotta tell my kids that more. I gotta tell like the people that you care about. So I appreciate you saying that to me, man, because it's been fantastic getting to know you, and I love seeing you on the platform. I love that big smile. I love the beard, but I love the way that you actually open up people. I think that you have a unique personality where whenever you interact with me, I'm like, yo, like this is gonna be a fun ride. From our first
Yeah.
call,
From our
talk
first
about
call. I wish that
hey,
we recorded it because
I
we
know, I
we
know.
went down the river, but
We might get shadow banned though.
no, yeah, exactly. That was what is that? Not safe for work type of content. But
Yeah,
no, man, I real recognize real, and so I
yeah,
appreciate you, dude, big time.
yeah, man, yeah. Likewise, bro.
All right,
I
brother.
love.
Well, shoot, we only just getting started, so I will catch you on the next one. And my man
Yeah,
CT, you have an epic rest of your day. All right.
yes, sir.
All right, big man.